All right, so I thought this was kind of interesting, so I went ahead and brought this in here. And so it says basically we're going to compare the probability of dying to the probability of winning the Powerball jackpot. So as a healthy non-smoker that's 25 years old, your probability of dying this year is approximately 0.001. Now divide this probability by the probability of winning the Powerball jackpot with one ticket. And so if we take that, divided by that number we found in the last example, as far as the denominator goes, that is going to be 0.0000342. So taking our probability of dying this year by this value, we get 292,227. What does that mean? Well, a healthy 25-year-old is nearly 292,000 times more likely to die this year than to win the Powerball jackpot. So it's no wonder that people who calculate probabilities often refer to lotteries as a tax on stupidity, because you're really more likely to die than you are to win that jackpot. So just think about that if you're playing lottery. All right, so checkpoint 3. So it says a club consists of 6 Democrats and 4 Republicans. 3 members are selected at random to attend a conference. Find the probability that the selected group consists of A, 3 Democrats, and B, 2 Democrats and one Republican. All right, so we need to figure out what our numerator is going to be first. So if we have 3 Democrats and they have a total of 6, that means we have to, if I can find my pen, here we go, we're going to have 6C3, and that's going to be what we have for our numerator, and 10C3, which is going to be what's going to be in our denominator. And this is for, again, part A. So let's look those up here. So we have math, go over here. We have 3. We had 6 and 3. That's 20. So that's our numerator. And let's cheat. Let's go back over here. And the other one was, is 10C3. And that's 120. So now we're taking 20 divided by 120. And so 20 divided by 120. And we want a fraction. And so that's going to be 1/6. So let's write all that down. So we said the first thing, that's going to be 20. This was 120. So from that, the probability of that event, 3 Democrats, is going to be equal to 20 divided by 120, which is what we found. The reduced fraction is 1/6. Okay. So that, again, is part A. Part B, 2 Democrats and 1 Republican. Okay. Well, if we have 6 Democrats, we're going to have 6, see how many? 2. And then if we multiply it times how many Republicans, well, that's going to be how many? 4, and we're choosing one of those. That will give us a value. And again, we're still doing 3, so guess what? The denominator is still going to be the same, so the probability of that event is going to be something divided by 120. So now let's go check what out we have. And so let's clear that, and we're going to go math and number 3, and we have 6. We're choosing 2, and then we're going to multiply. So get up here, times, and we're going to multiply by, again, math, 3, and now we have 4. We're going to choose 1. So our numerator is going to be 60. Our denominator was 120, so that's a half. So we don't even have to worry about that one. We can figure that one out in our head. And so this was 60, that was 60, and that's going to be 1/2. So that probability of finding 2 Democrats and 1 Republican is going to give us 1/2. Okay. All right, so let's do another one. All right, so it says we're going to return to stand-up comedy. So 6 stand-up comics, A, B, C, D, E, and F, are to perform on a single evening at a comedy club. The orders of performance is determined by the random selection. Find the probability that comic E will perform first, comic C will perform fifth, and comic B will perform last. The comedians will perform in the following order: D, E, C, A, B, F. And then finally, comic A or comic B will perform first. All right. So we have a bunch of things to calculate here. So A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It says E is going to perform first. Well, there's only one way that's going to happen. And then we have 5 ways that can do it. 4, 3, 2, 1. And so that's going to be our numerator. Our denominator, well, that's going to be 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So if we multiply that out, this is just 5 factorial times 1. Well, 5 factorial is 120. 6 factorial is 720. So this probability is going to be 120 divided by 720. Well, that's just 6 times bigger, so that probability is just 1/6. So we can do that one pretty easy. B. Coming C is going to perform fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C is going to be, oh, we have 6, fifth, and B is going to perform last. Okay, well, there's only one way each of those can happen. And so there's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. So now we have our numerator is going to be 4 factorial, which is going to be what, 24. And the denominator is still going to be 720. And so that one I'm not going to be as easy to do in my head. So we have 24 divided by 720, do math, and we get 1/30. All right. So that's going to be equal to 1/30. Now C. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have to do it in that order. Well, if we have to do it in that order, there's only one way that can happen, one way that can happen, one way that can happen, one way here, one way here, one way here. And so the probability is going to be 1/720. So that one is a pretty easy one because each one of those had to be in that order. And so that's just 1 and then over 720. And our final one, we have A, B, C, D, F. And so A or B is going to perform first. So there's two, form first, yeah. All right, so there's going to be 2 ways that can happen. And then after that, then what do we have? Well, then we have 5 ways that can happen. 4, 3, 2, 1, because it doesn't matter after that what happens. And so now we have 120 times 2, so that's going to give us 240 over 720. And so that's going to be, if we put a 0 there, that'd be 10 over, so that's going to be 1/3. So the probability of that happening is 1/3. All right. So that's kind of doing comics. And again, now we're back here. These are more kind of permutation type things where we can use the fundamental counting principle. And so that's why we can do that, something different here. All right, so let's go and do some more in a little bit.